people, how are you today? I am Catlady Antigoni and today we are talking about my favorite 10 spring palettes. Before I start the video, I would like to tell you some things very quickly and then we can get into the palettes. Well, first of all, everything that I'm gonna show you today is 100% cruelty free and most of the palettes are vegan as well. Secondly, if you don't have the palettes, this video is not aiming to make you buy anything extra. No, we don't want that. I personally aim to inspire you a little bit, to show you some spring color schemes, to tell you about makeup ideas and to share my love about palettes with you. So if you don't own the palette, I'm sure that you can find something similar in your collection and you can recreate my ideas, you can tell me about it. In general, I want you to feel happy. I don't want you to feel any pressure, and by no means I do not promote you to buy more and more stuff, especially when you already have the eyeshadows. And now, without any further ado, let's start! Well, when I was preparing for the video, the first palette that came into my mind was this one. This is the collaboration between I Heart Revolution and Looney Tunes, and specifically my favorite one, Bugs Bunny. This is the color scheme. I mean, if this is not screams spring, then what? We have some very beautiful greens and oranges, and when I think about this, I also think about flowers and fields and carrots, and to me this screams happiness because spring to me is pure happiness. I love spring, it's my favorite season. I have my birthday in May, so I think that's some extra points to the spring. So I think that this palette depicts all the happiness that someone might feel when they are thinking about spring. What do you think? Do you agree? Also, a little bonus here, look at the detail with Bugs Bunny and Lola Bunny. Oh my god, I love it, it's so cute. The second palette is quite a bulky one. Well, I'm gonna tell you about the ice cream from Glamlight. I love the packaging. I will never throw away this packaging. It's so beautiful and again it brings me so much happiness. Well, this is the palette actually with the ice cream. I have already filmed a tutorial using this palette. This palette is very high quality. In general, Glamlight has super high quality makeup and look at the color scheme. All these pastels, all these metallics, I mean, this screams flower colors. All the colors have great pigmentation and you might think that the kind of more pastels might be weaker. No. This is not the case here. They are super beautiful and they are very buildable as well. And bonus points here, all of the shadows have ice cream names and you might say how ice cream is related to spring and not summer. Well, I am from Greece if you didn't know this, and in Greece like it's getting extremely warm around May, so everyone starts eating ice creams from April, I would say. So yeah, I think that this is very much connected in my head to start eating ice cream. So this is an ice cream palette and I think that you know how it goes, right? Well, this palette is available in Europe if you're interested. I have found a shop which actually brings American indie brands. It's called Monolith. I'm gonna try to remember to leave a link down at my description box. So if you're interested, go there, have a look. It's not sponsored, I don't have affiliate codes or stuff like that. I'm just very happy that I found them and I just want to share it with you. Next, I'm gonna tell you about another collaboration. Actually, I'm gonna tell you about a discontinued palette. Well, this is the collaboration between Aden and Angelica Nyqvist. This is the palette basically. I have kept the carton because it's so beautiful and it's different from the actual palette. The actual palette is a masterpiece. I mean, look at it, it's super beautiful. Again, it brings some greens and some pinks and I feel happiness when I see this palette. But here we have a bonus. Here we have some grungier colors like this one which is called Moss, like this one which is called Golden Bridge. So if you don't really want to go with the absolute pink dream, the absolute green fantasy, you know, you can kind of twist the look a little bit and you can still keep the very bright greens or pinks, but actually make it a little bit more grungy, a little bit more, I don't know, deep or dark or twisted in any sense. And this is what I love about this palette, because this palette actually pushed me to start thinking outside my comfort zone, outside the box, and start combining these colors, which I really was avoiding before I owned this palette. I was like, okay, not for me, not today. But since I got it and I was like, maybe I need to try it a little bit, I found out that I can create amazing makeup looks. So yeah, why not try to find if you have similar colors and try to experiment a little bit with these. Another palette that screams spring to me is this one. This is the collaboration between Colourpop and Tinkerbell, and let me open this palette for you. First of all, it has a lot of glitter, so this is something I personally adore. It makes me super happy. Even there we can find some glitter. It's so beautiful. When I see this palette, I think of butterflies. I think again of very beautiful fields and the renaissance of the nature with all these amazing green colors. Of course, I have filmed a tutorial about this palette. I have filmed a tutorial about the other palette from Angelica Nyqvist, but I just forgot to mention. I will try to put everything at my description box, but if I forget, just go to the magnifying glass of my channel and there you can find all the tutorials that I'm mentioning. Anyway, back to the palette and back to the positive ones. Well, it has actually this color which is called Awake, and to me it's a huge benefit that you can find a very deep green, very dark green in such a pretty and cute palette, because you can actually turn to another direction and your look doesn't have to be necessarily about butterflies and, you know, very happy stuff. You can add depth, you can make it more dramatic, you can create a million things if you have a very similar color scheme to you. When I see this palette, I see all the colors of the leaves, all the possibilities, and I see some colors of, I don't know, tree trunks, I would say, or some specific stems from the flowers. So it's really inspiring if you try to recreate nature themes or stuff like that. At least this is what I see when I see this palette. Also a lot of butterfly stuff, but I already mentioned this. The next palette is from LH Cosmetics and it is called Spectral palette. Well, this is the color scheme and you might think, it has a gray. Is this really a spring palette? I would say yes, because this is more of a silver, and to me it's the sparkle from the magic that spring has. And when I see this palette, I see kind of like candy colors, and it brings me back to my childhood, which is, according to me, the spring of a human's life, and I get a lot of sweet vibes. So this is not like the spring as we saw it before with the flowers and the meadows and stuff like this. It's actually the spring in a more symbolic way, in kind of the human life. So at least this is what I see when I see this palette, and that's why I get so much inspiration. But not inspiration like I'm gonna do something flowery or stuff like that. I'm gonna do something that actually makes my soul shine and makes me smile and actually brings me some good memories. I don't know, what do you see when you see this color scheme? Please write down in the comments. Moving on to the next palette, I'm gonna actually tell you about another palette from Oud and Sai, a little bit from the older collections. This specific one is Elva. Actually, this means elf in Swedish, if you didn't know this. And yes, this is what I see basically when I see this amazing color scheme. I imagine of a sunny day in kind of the countryside with a very clear blue sky, no clouds at all, because look at it, I see this orange as the sun, this glitter as the sun rays, this blue as the sky, then the countryside represented by the greens, and then we have some flower colors as well. Bonus points again for the deeper colors that you can find in this palette. So basically, I'm thinking about flowers with a little bit deeper colors. And yeah, if you don't want to think about flowers, think about a makeup look that can go into multiple directions, because actually you have a lot of choices. You have the glitters, you have a lot of shimmers, and also you have these two, which can really get anything deeper and deeper. So it's just so pretty, it's giving you a lot of options. Some people argue that it's not very nice to have glitter in the palettes. I don't really agree. I find it very beautiful, specifically these two glitters are so pretty, and I don't mind at all, to be honest. I think it's not as good as the latest Aden palettes, but it's a very beautiful palette, first of all packaging wise, and secondly when it comes to the quality itself. And I'm planning to remain in Swedish brands a little bit more, so now I'm gonna tell you about the brand which is called Glamlight, and specifically my favorite palette that they have, which is called Look for Rainbows. Well, this was the favorite product that I have for 2022, and basically yeah, I love this palette. It's so beautiful. Yes, you might say that it doesn't contain any mattes, so probably it's more of a companion palette than an actual palette that can stand by itself, but let me tell you, I have created looks only by using this palette, and they have been very beautiful. I know it might not be for everyone, but even as a companion palette, even if you're using it just to spice up your looks a little bit, it contains some very beautiful shimmers, some amazing duochromes like this one right here, like from purple to green to blue. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Then again, you have a deeper color. You have this one, which is kind of like from yellow to orange to purple. Very beautiful as well. You have this. In my head, the rays of the sun have exactly this color. So if I could depict it in a way, I could choose this color. When it comes to the quality, it's actually very high quality. Most of Glamlight's products are very high quality. I wasn't very happy with their latest palette, the how is it called? Smoke and Mirrors. It was a little bit lower than my expectations, but this one is so beautiful and it brings me so much happiness. Like, look at the title, Look for Rainbows. What else do you need to do in this life? Like, look for rainbows, look for happiness, look for everything that puts a smile on your face. Next palette is from Makeup Revolution, and basically it's another collab, this time with DC and specifically Harley Quinn. I know that by the carton box you don't really understand why I chose this palette as a spring palette, but have a look at the color scheme. Isn't it beautiful? Again, this color scheme is one of those that actually brings me happiness. It brings me extremely happy vibes. I don't really associate it with Harley Quinn that much. I would choose something darker for her. That's relevant. It is what it is. I love it. I think it's very good quality as well. I think that when I tried this palette, I thought that Revolution actually has improved their quality by a lot in comparison with the last palette that I got from them, which was quite a long ago. Let me tell you, when I see this palette again, I don't really get that flowery vibe that much. I get happiness as a feeling, and that's why I associate it with spring in my head. Also, I get more playful looks, kind of more to what I said before, to the childish side without being like silly or something like that. In my head also, I think that this palette would fit perfectly with a white eyeliner. I don't know, I have some visions of looks with white eyeliner and this palette. So yeah, if you try anything, please send me on Instagram. I would be very curious to see your inspiration and your imagination as well. And if you want to see some inspo, guess what? I have filmed already a video review about this palette where I'm doing a makeup look using both white and black eyeliner. At number 9, we have a palette from BH Cosmetics. The palette, which is called Flower Power. Do you need anything more to justify why I chose this palette for spring? Well, if you look at it, the dominant colors are the purple and the pink, the perfect colors for flowers basically. Then we have some browns, some very unique browns I would say, because if you look at this one, which is called Boogie, this one right here, it's more of a purple than a brown, and I'm so intrigued by this color. I kinda come back to use it again and again because I really try to understand how it is working. The thing that I love in this palette is that it contains this very cool toned purple, which is quite difficult to find these days in the palettes, in matte edition at least. Like, I have found it again and again as a shimmer, as a glitter, all the good stuff, but never as a matte, so I really appreciate it when I found it here. The pans are a little bit small, I know, but personally I don't have any issues with this because I get more colors in a more compact form, so I'm very happy about it. And also there are a lot of other browns. It gives you a lot of alternatives, so basically I would describe it as 2 rows of pinks and purples and then 2 rows of browns and a little bit more neutral colors. So basically the possibilities are endless one more time with this palette. And now it's time for the Greek word of the day. Well, the last palette that I showed you is called Flower Power, and I realized that I've never told you the Greek word for flower. So it's the time that you know this word. In Greek we say luludi. Say with me, luludi. Easy, right? Again, I'm gonna ask you to try to write a comment down below. Either use the word luludi in a sentence or tell me the word in your own native language. And last but not least, at number 10, we have a palette which is coming from a Danish indie brand. Well, I'm gonna tell you about the palette Statewide from Bragg Beauty. Let me show you this color scheme. Oh my god, it's super amazing. It has this very intense pink, very vibrant, almost neon, I would say. It has this more calm pink, very beautiful red as well, because I didn't see any other reds at the palettes that I have already showed to you. Well, to be honest, red is not a favorite of mine, but when it comes to flowers and spring and stuff like that, I can definitely understand that red is a must-have, and I had to show you something with red inside. Anyway, besides we have some green, this very beautiful teal color, like this reminds me of water, and basically this reminds me of my first swimming in the sea during spring, because traditionally at the 1st of May I used to go to the sea and I used to enjoy the sun, because again I'm from Greece and it's quite warm at the 1st of May, and then at the 27th of May I have my birthday, so that means definitely that I used to take my car and I used to go to the sea, and I was spending all the day in the sea, not sunbathing at all, because if you have the water, why to stay outside the water and not in the water and play and have fun and have a great time? So basically this color brings me all of these happy memories in my head and I really love it. So basically this row, it's to me the sea, the sun and the grass that you can find at the spring, and I love this palette. I have used it in a million different looks. It gives me so much inspiration, like whether it comes to more happy looks or even more dark looks, more dramatic looks, I find always an alternative to do something. Of course, I don't always use it by itself, I might use it as a companion palette, but it really provides beautiful colors and very high quality eyeshadows. And basically that was it. This was our video for today. I hope that you had some fun showing you my palettes. I hope you got some inspiration. I will be very happy to see you in the comments to tell me what are you planning to do during spring, if you have any specific makeup looks in your head that you are gonna create, or anything that your hearts desire. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate you a lot. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, everywhere. My name is Catlady Antigoni, and I would be very happy to see you there. Well, see you on Monday with a more makeup video or a makeup tutorial, we will see, and until then, bye!